Hello, I'm very happy to be here. I think this is a wonderful contest, and it's a pleasure to judge the stories every year. As always, this year's stories are wonderfully various. These extraordinarily talented authors take us from the Holocaust to Silicon Valley to Seattle, from the court of Louis XIV in 17th century France to a small town in West Virginia. They brim with skillfully executed characters, wonderful plots that carry us along and often make us change the way we see the world. I love reading them. It's a great pleasure. I feel like I have a secret treasure trove of stories that no one else gets to read, so it's always fun for me to read them and choose the winners. And I think that what I look for is a story that will be interesting, entertaining, and show me something I haven't seen before. And that happened this year, and my congratulations to all of you who entered the short story contest, and I want to see more next year. Thank you.
Great. And now you get to hear an excerpt from the first prize winner in the short story category. Barbara Ridley from Albany, California, is going to read an excerpt from The Ring.
Thank you. This is a short excerpt from my story. Ida died suddenly on a cold January night, a few days into the new century. Her daughter Andrea lived on another continent, 6,000 miles away, but she dropped everything and arrived on the doorstep the following day. The undertaker had allowed for Ida's body to remain in the bed, the window open to the cold English air. The room appeared untouched, the sheets a crumpled mess. The faded paisley curtain, adrift from 3 of its hooks, fluttered in the forlorn breeze. On the bedside table sat the novel Ida had been reading, her glasses tossed on top. Andrea's father sat slumped on the living room couch, legs outstretched, dazed. "I don't understand what happened to her wedding ring," he said. "She always said she would be buried with it on her finger." Andrea went back upstairs and looked at her mother's hands, no ring. She knew it to be a slim gold band. She searched the bedclothes, the bedside table, the jewelry box, no sign of it. They made funeral arrangements for the Friday. Andrea didn't mention the ring again to her father. She didn't want to add to his distress, but she surreptitiously rummaged through her mother's dresser, her desk, and her closet. She found expired passports and ration cards from the 50s, and birthday cards and postcards from Andrea and her brothers over the years, and 3 small labeled boxes containing their baby teeth, tiny, yellowed with age. But she could not find the wedding ring. When Ida was 6 years old, her best friend Liesl lived with her family across the hall in the other apartment on the 2nd floor. Liesl didn't have to wear a yellow star on her coat. When the rules changed and girls with yellow stars on their coats could no longer go to the cinema or the park, Liesl's mother let Ida borrow a coat. It was Liesl's coat from last year and too tight across Ida's chest, so she wore it unbuttoned, oblivious to the icy wind blowing across the Vltava. One afternoon, as Liesl and Ida skipped across the white tiles in the foyer, taking care not to step on the lines, Mrs. Svobodova from the downstairs flat poked her head through her doorway and scowled. Later, she told Liesl's mother, "This has to stop." Ida's mother sobbed the day she was forced to surrender her jewelry. Ida's father gathered it in a box together with his typewriter, the radio, and Mama's fur coat, and took them all to the town hall on a Monday morning. But Mama refused to part with her rings. "They are not having these," she said. She wrapped her wedding band and her sapphire engagement ring in wax paper and buried them in the drawer with her undergarments. The boots. Ida remembered the boots. The heavy boots stomping up the steps and the fists pounding on the front door below. The noise reverberated through the apartment like a thunderstorm. Mama peeked through the narrow gap in the lace curtains. "They're here," she said, her face ashen. She grabbed Ida by the hand and ran to the bedroom. She took her rings from the drawer, her hands shaking as she tore off the wrappings. She pulled Ida close and forced the rings into her mouth. "Don't say a word." Ida clung to her mother's skirts as 4 men in long black boots rampaged through the apartment. They threw her father's papers onto the floor of his study and upturned the mattresses in the bedrooms. "Rührt euch nicht," they barked. "Don't move." The sharp edge of the sapphire dug into Ida's cheek. Thank you.